Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of 151. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by a man who sharpens Rambo's knife with his penis. His name is Justin.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
We're 151. We are presented by Skeleton Wine. You can find out more about them at their website, skeletonwine.com, or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. As for us, everything you need to know is at 151theshow.com or this station's website.com.
So please check out this station's website.
It's a little inside radio joke that I can talk about a little bit later, but yeah. Otherwise, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all at 151 The Show, and we hope that you subscribe to our Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google, and every other stupid channel that we're a part of.
Correct. Where
you can find audio for our little show.
Yes.
So. Been a little bit. Came back last week with an interview of Tom from the Orville.
Yes. That's really sad that you had to think on that.
No. I always want to say something different for his last name. So.
Yes. It throws me every time that I was searching or trying to.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
I want to throw in extra letters.
Yeah. So, anyways, you can check out that interview on all those pages I talked about. But today, friends, we don't have anybody on the show with us. We're just going to talk for a little bit and hang out and talk about Star Trek, actually.
Yes. Because
there's a couple new series coming out.
Yes. At the time of this release, approximately we're 2-ish episodes into the new season of Star Trek Discovery.
Excuse me, yeah. Which, you know what? I told you this a couple weeks ago when we were talking on the phone. I went back and I rewatched Discovery. Mm-hmm. Just rewatched it. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy or anything like that. I didn't hate it the second time. It still wasn't Star Trek to me,
right?
But I didn't hate it quite as much as I did the first time around.
Right. Because you were no longer it. For me, the second watch on that is improved in the same way that the Force Awakens went down the second watch. Because you remove those expectations and it's like, oh, a new Star Trek. Oh, this isn't Star Trek.
This is awful.
Right.
So you...
Captain, I've brought your greatest enemy, a bright light bulb!
So. Yeah, I know, right? So, I actually missed...
I don't know why I went William Shatner with that.
No, I don't know.
It just felt appropriate.
It's 10 years before him.
Right,
so.
I know.
No, second season so far of Discovery. I don't hate it. I'm kind of okay.
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes and all of that.
I think at this point I would probably watch the crap out of the Christopher Pike show, though. I do like Anson Mount as that character.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
Yeah,
I don't hate him.
It's a very sort of casual. Everybody gets a voice here. Let's it's a nice command style. It's very thinky, but okay, we've thought about it. It's sort of the middle line between Kirk and Picard when you think about it.
A little bit, but I'm still waiting for him to really lay down the law one day,
right.
Where all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm the captain.
Right.
I'm the captain.
I'm the goddamn captain.
So sit your ass down, Saru.
Right.
I mean, I'm waiting for that part,
right. We'll see what happens.
He's just been kind of like, hey, sorry, I got to borrow your ship for a little bit. Mine's busted to
right.
Saru, you tall bastard. Yeah. That's kind of where he's at, right?
Right.
I'm waiting for him to say, no, you.
Right. Well, especially in the first episode, it was very, hey, I know I'm in your seat.
Yeah.
It's like, bull. He's acting captain.
We were like 5 minutes into this, and
it's just 5-year mission, man.
You weren't even here for the war,
right?
Like 5 minutes into this, and we just threw the whole cussing thing out the window.
Right, I know. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, if Star Trek Discovery can throw it in, and we can.
Right.
So, no, with that being said, so you've got the new Picard series coming out,
yes.
which is later on this year, and we're going to talk about Lower Decks here at some point, but
right.
The main part of this episode is, what was it, about 2 years ago before Discovery came out? we did the episode where we had no details
Right.
about what Discovery was going to be. We had
Right.
no idea that it was going to be. We just knew there was a new show coming
Yeah.
out from CBS,
Basically.
All Access.
Yeah.
And what we did was we went through and we talked about, okay, this is what we want to see in a Star Trek show. This is, if they were going to make a perfect Star Trek show, this would be it.
For us.
And they took zero.
Yeah, they didn't
ideas.
take our notes. So,
Any of it.
right,
Any of it.
right. And I think we were sitting on a gold mine, quite frankly.
I do too. Because I still firmly believe that if you put Discovery after Next Generation and everything,
Right,
it works.
right.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, Spore Drive works, everything, no huge gaps. I mean,
yeah, you're not rewriting history.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
The updated consoles, the look, everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh no, we gotta
Oh,
put it.
no.
No, let's go back to before where there's all this history and stuff.
Let's kick ourselves in the dick by stepping on canon that 40 million screaming nerds will complain about.
See, and that's the thing that I'm interested in this season is how they.
How they bring it in line.
Yeah, because
Right.
you know that from one season to another, everybody's like, okay, we got to make adjustments to get
Right.
more
Right.
people talking about us or watching or whatever. What are they going to do?
Or like season 3 of Enterprise when they realize, okay, we went completely off the rails here. Can we get somebody to come in and clean this up for us?
I still don't hate season 3.
Well, I'm just saying that they
Yeah.
moved so far off. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why every
Yeah.
episode in season 4 was kind of fan service. That's a different show.
Do you want to hit Lower Decks real quick and then go into the Picard thing and end with that, or do you want to?
If we don't do it now, we'll probably never do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so Lower Decks. Supposed to be animated series coming.
Is that CBS All Access?
Yeah, it'll still be
Okay.
CBS All Access. Alex Kurtzman is going to kind of be the overarching. What's his name in Marvel? Feige.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin Feige.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sort of the overarching. Make sure everything works.
Yeah.
To keep everything on track. Animated, comedic. Basically, we go with a group of ensigns and lieutenants, and that what we've joked about before, and there's been some parody stuff done over the years of, oh my God, we're going into it's Red Alert again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just be nice to the Klingons, or whatever.
Yeah. Do we know when this is set?
No.
Okay, so it could be any time.
It could be any time. It could be a crew we know. It could be a crew we don't know. I mean, you could honestly go back and almost episode by episode redo the Next Generation or any of the rest of it with all that. Oh my God, the Ferengi kidnapped Picard's son's on board. Come back to haunt him again.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to deal with his crap?
I was just thinking about it being on DS9. It just, what a pile of trash
Right.
the station was.
Right.
Like, God damn it, I got to go fix
Right.
this again.
I just put the stiffeners in, and now the bottom third of the station's gone again.
Yeah, that's
Right.
I don't know why. That just seems like a huge maintenance problem that they
Right.
always talked about that
Oh, yeah.
nothing ever worked.
Oh yeah, reactors are up to 170% of output.
Awesome.
Again,
Wonderful.
we're gonna blow up in 30 seconds
We
because this
blew
is
another
old,
O-ring.
old Cardassian technology.
Why did we take over this thing?
Why didn't we build a new one?
Yeah, which they did.
Right. Well, season 3 should have just been like, okay, we're shoving this thing into the wormhole, and there's a shiny new Federation station showed up.
I'm okay with this.
Right.
Okay. So,
Right.
Any idea when Lower Decks
No.
comes out? None?
No.
All right, so Lower Decks at some point. Did I just write it myself?
No, you're all right.
Okay,
You
cool.
almost poked yourself in the eye, but
I did.
Can we get a replay slow-mo version of that?
Me almost like poking my eye out. Which you can follow along with us on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
We have video.
You can
sometimes.
see that in glorious video.
So, all right, that brings us to the Picard show.
Yes.
What was it? A few weeks ago, a article came out that gave some details about what the show's going to be like. We still don't have like main plot details of this thing
Right.
yet, but what we have is it is Picard.
Post Next Generation.
Post Next Generation. It's gonna from the reboot of the series with Chris Pine and all them, the destruction of Romulus,
Right. Which took place in the Prime timeline.
yes, That has actually happened.
Yep.
And this show is about the effect of that on Picard and living in that part of the galaxy after all this has happened.
Right, because apparently we're going to pick up with Picard either having been the Vulcan, the Federation ambassador to Vulcan, or to Romulus, one of the two. I've read both things, and picking up with the destruction of the Romulan Empire, which... Right off the bat, I just want to say that this sounds very undiscovered country. I mean, are we just going to, as a plot device, blow up everybody's? I mean, Praxis, the Klingon moon, blew up, and did the Klingons in, and forced them into the treaty and whatnot, so they'd survive, made them join the Federation, and now Romulus is blown up or whatever as well.
See, what I think is interesting about this, because a lot of people don't know, but there was a comic set before the reboot came out.
Yes.
And I forget what it was, something like Countdown to something or whatever.
Yes, I have it.
And it laid out a lot of history of what was going on. Picard was the ambassador to...
Right.
I want to say Vulcan, wasn't it?
I think it's Vulcan.
Data had come back. He'd crawled his way out of the B4's head and,
right.
Became the captain of the Enterprise.
Yep.
LaForge designed the ship that they used, the jellyfish ship. I mean, there's established history, so part of me wonders, okay, are they going to use any of that in this? Or are they just...
That was all supposed to be set up for the movie. I mean, it was all supposed to be as real as the movie was.
You know what I was kind of thinking before any of this stuff came out, because the one thing that they had said that they had to do a Star Trek show that was completely different than anything else that has come out, because that's the only way to get Jean-Luc, Patrick Stewart back into the role.
Right.
So, before we had all these details, I had one theory, and then once this came out, I had a different theory of what kind of show it was going to be. Because I don't think you can make this episodic, right?
You can have a few separate, but no, you can't make it just completely episodic. It's got to have an overarching story, which is why Patrick Stewart wanted to get back into it.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is he an ambassador or an admiral in this? Because that changes the type of story it becomes, right?
He's an ambassador.
See, I'm leaning towards ambassador too.
Right, that was always his.
He was the diplomat. He was the dude that
he was an archaeologist. He was a diplomat. He was a flautist.
So we're both saying he's probably going to be an ambassador in this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we saw this article about the destruction of Romulus playing a part in it, my thought on what I thought the show was going to be was he was an ambassador somewhere, because if they did it episodic where he just rolls into a place and, hey, big fight, 45 minutes later, peace, everybody drinks on me. That I don't think that really works.
No. I mean, it's kind of like that sounds like the A-Team.
Kind of, right? So my thought on it was that we were going to start to see...
Mr. Worf suddenly hates to fly.
Yeah. Well, that is...
Reg Barkley is on the team. That works.
Oh, it does. Oh my God, it does. It works really well.
Barkley.
That's funny. My first idea about this was it was going to be some sort of like conspiracy show,
right?
Where he stumbles upon something at the beginning of the season, and then it's
Star Trek's Files,
something kind of like that, where it's like, okay, the piece to like an assassination happens, and son of a bitch, was that Section 31 or whatever?
Right.
Oh, and what's her name? She's getting that show, isn't she?
Yeah, Georgiou.
Sorry, completely off topic.
Right, there will be a Section 31 show at some point. But they said that might not happen until Discovery completely wraps up.
All right. So, anywho, but that was kind of my thought with that there was going to be something that set up a mystery that he is essentially,
Dixon Hill.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it still could be. I mean, we don't. There still could be elements of that. I mean, Picard did love his detective stories. Yeah.
So that was my pre-article story. I can sum up what I think this next what it's going to be like here.
Okay.
Do you remember? And it's going to use the Dresden Files actually to figure this.
You have my interest.
Destruction of Romulus, right?
Right.
And this is having a profound effect on Picard.
Right.
My new theory on what the show is going to be like is You remember in the Dresden Files when Harry wipes out the Red Court?
Mm-hmm.
And they go on and they talk about how there is now this vacuum of power. How you had one controlling faction that, kept certain other things in line. And then all of a sudden that power was gone.
Right.
That's what I think the Picard series is going to be like.
Could be.
All of a sudden you have, the complete dropout of the Romulan power.
Right.
And then you have now all these other upstarts and people trying to grab that power.
Right.
I don't know how Picard fits into it exactly, but I kind of went down that road.
Right. And see, so if we go back to the comic and we take, that Picard was kind of, involved with Spock and the plan, Geordi built the ship, to save Romulus, then it fails. So Picard's in a position where he was an architect of the plan to save it. It didn't work. Obviously, Nero blamed Spock, blah, blah, blah. J.J. Abrams reverse. In the Prime, so you have Picard left behind. It didn't work. He obviously can't maintain that position because, of everybody blaming him as one of the architects of the plan. The plan didn't work. Romulus died. So he retreats to an isolated area in, I believe, New Mexico. Gets a very, very tall Mr. Holm-style alien to, take care of him. And a former student of his, a former associate, we don't know which one yet, could be Wesley, could be some unnamed crewman in the intermeeting time, shows up to try and take care of him, rescue him, but unfortunately he's started to slip with the same disease that Sarek did, but as a result of that, he's also gained telepathic powers.
You don't know where you're going with this.
I just wrapped I just turned it into Logan.
Like, I thought for a second, I'm like, okay, I'm with him here. I'm with him. I don't know what the hell he's talking about anymore.
Yeah.
What's the...
I just managed to wrap enough Star Trek to make it plausible that Picard turns into Professor X.
You know what? You did bring up it would be an interesting way to bring Wesley back into it. And what's his name? Time travel.
Right.
Like he's trying to save Romulus.
Right.
Could that be it?
I don't know. It must have been.
It seems like time travel is always kind of like the go-to storyline.
Big red reset button.
Yeah.
They said they wrote 3 pages of crap and Patrick Stewart came on board. So if we take about what we know as Patrick Stewart in this day and age, he seems to like comedy. Mm-hmm. He also seems to really putting his characters through the ringer.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a happy ending for Jean-Luc Picard. I don't think his life's going to be rode off into the sunset where he thought it was, whether because circumstances, which kind of stinks because Star Trek used to be about showing that things would get better and things would better, and we got drama, but everything, the things that you didn't have infighting, you didn't have, the Federation were always the good guys, la-di-da-di-da. You didn't have this sort of dystopian things may not get better outlook. And while that makes great drama, and I love to see that in some ways, it also makes me sad. Unfortunately, I think that's going to appeal to Patrick Stewart in this day and age.
Part of me wonders if it's not, I don't think he comes out the same after it. I don't necessarily think, he dies, a dishonorable death or whatever that.
Well, it's pretty short show.
I think
he does that.
Yeah. Well, just him in a room with a gun.
Right. A phaser rifle.
Oh, Jesus. But
make it show.
Oh, that's horrible. No, I definitely I don't think he comes out of it, the same. Right. But I don't think it's one of those things where they're going to completely destroy. Because can you imagine if Trek fans were like, yeah, destroy that character?
Right.
They would go nuts.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why Wesley's in it.
Is he?
No, he's not.
I was going to say,
will you bring Wesley back? That's the only character that Star Trek fans would go, yeah, screw that guy.
who do you want to see in this? Like, whatever storyline that comes up with this new Picard series, because I think there's two groups for this. There's the characters that make sense and the characters that are fan service.
Right. I think that it makes as much sense for Riker and Troy to be in it in the same way that, like in Star Trek 6, Sulu showed up with the Excelsior.
Agreed.
If Jean-Luc Picard needs somebody with the resources of the starship that's going to trust him implicitly, he's calling Will Riker, or he's calling Data if Data's still running the Enterprise.
What if? Let me run this by you. What if? Okay, so say you bring Riker back,
right?
What if Picard is the ambassador that's investigating Riker, the admiral?
That's interesting.
Where, because, Riker...
But you lose me right off the bat because, to a certain extent, there's no way in an organization like Starfleet that you're going to say, okay, there's only one man for this job. No, you're going to get some guy who's never met Riker before, there's no conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. It'd be the same thing as a military deal. So
I'm just saying, that might make it interesting where it's like...
Right. It's a good dramatic device, but
yeah,
you kind of lose me on the reality of the situation that it never happened.
Yeah, but Riker's also one of those dudes that, how long did he keep the Pegasus stuff under wraps?
Well, there is that.
He's not perfect.
No, not by any means.
He did kick that Romulan into hell.
Right.
Or the Reman.
Right.
At the bottom of the ship.
He dropped him 6 feet. Come on. Are you okay? Yeah, we're still going back to that. We're still always going to go back to that. Oh. Well, you did fall like 9 feet.
Where did he go?
I know.
The end of Star Trek Nemesis. When Riker is at the bottom of the ship fighting the Reman dude, Ron Perlman, wasn't it?
Yes.
He kicks him into a hole that goes on forever.
Where did he go?
I just want to know that.
He's at the bottom of the ship.
Like, did they find him later?
Oh, yeah, they
did the lower decks guys have to clean this dude up?
Got a squeegee out there. Oh my god!
Like, did he hit a fan?
There's Reman everywhere.
Really, think about it.
Can't believe Riker beat this guy. He was Hellboy.
He just straight up murdered that man.
Right. Guy just straight up murdered a dude.
Anyways, all right. So Riker, Troy, plausible.
Right. Data, plausible.
Yeah. What? That's why I'm wondering if they go with the comic books at all, because Data was back,
right,
as before,
right?
But he was back.
But the one thing that Brent Spiner has repeatedly said is, Data doesn't age, and I have.
Yeah.
Unless we're gonna pull a full Captain Marvel de-aging of Sam Jackson.
Yeah. LaForge randomly showing up.
CBS All Access has the budget for that.
LaForge randomly showing up. Okay. Worf.
I think you got to build it in as more significant to the story.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about it on the way home the other night when we were, talking about doing this. And I wonder if they do any cameos in the first season.
I don't think they do.
Like, second season, like, the keys for the second season, like, kind of like the Enterprise showing up at the end of the Discovery.
Right.
I could kind of see something like that, like LaForge showing up.
The only way you do it is you do a purely fan service episode where it's the, okay, investigate. It's the anniversary of the day we lost the D or something like that, and the whole crew gets together, and Picard brings everybody up to date, and he's like, "Oh, this is what's going on."
What if the basis of the Picard show is the conspiracy of the Enterprise D getting destroyed?
That's amazing. That's there you go.
Picard sitting around going, I think somebody wrecked my ship.
Right.
I think somebody...
There's no way a 20-year-old Klingon bird of prey took out the flagship.
Yes, and you can go back and watch our complete episode about...
You want to see how far down the rabbit hole goes? You want to get loco? because it gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, it does. Conspiracy of the Enterprise D destruction, or I can't remember what the name of the show was. Enterprise D conspiracy. It rhymed. Huh. Enterprise D conspiracy.
CSI Enterprise.
I mean, so
what, you want the D? Sorry.
Who do you want to see make a cameo? Like, of all the people that have been on the show,
Bill Shatner, just because, I mean,
he's not going to be on the show.
I know, but A, how do you actually make that happen? B, except to just have him as an old guy who isn't Jim Kirk. But I mean, it'd be stupid fun. It'd be like when Tom Baker came back for Doctor Who on the 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of winking and a lot of, but it is what it is.
Well, the problem with Shatner though is he was pissed after the last one.
Oh, I know.
He went and wrote a new book.
You asked.
I mean,
I love a show, so
okay.
I'm saying Bill Shatner. Realistically,
want to see O'Brien back.
Right?
I don't know why. I just want to see O'Brien back.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, no idea how he would fit into it. I know he was going off to be an instructor.
Right.
And in the book series, he takes, he designs Deep Space Nine too, and so on and so forth. But, I just thought of him. I'm like, I don't really like O'Brien.
Honestly, it all depends on what kind of show. I mean, if they need a secret agent sort of, medical,
Bashir.
whatnot, you get Bashir. I mean, he's super smart. He's enhanced. He's obviously done the secret agent stuff. I mean, that's not a bad show.
Robert Picardo, I mean, he's a hologram,
right?
So he can do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, but is it too much of a gimmick to put Picardo on the Picard show?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
In fact, I want them to do it even more now.
Now that I've pointed that out, it has to happen.
What's her name who did Janeway? I don't really care about. I don't care if I see her.
No.
I mean, her thing in Nemesis, it was like, okay, you're an admiral now, whatever.
Yeah. Right. None
of that crew. I mean, Tuvok maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vulcans thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know that there really is, as much as we'd all like to see it. I don't really know that there is a place. I think this is going to be different enough that you can't shoehorn those characters. Because one thing about it is a big galaxy.
Yeah.
We can't keep running into the same 36 people all the time.
But we do.
I know, we do. Oh, I know, we do.
As long as it's not about the Borg.
Right.
I'm kind of bored out. All right, so your vote for the new Picard series, you think it's going to be what?
I think it's going to be...
Logan. Sorry.
No. Realistically, I think it's going to be... And I'm sorry I wasted everybody's time with that incredibly long and drawn out...
It was fine. I just...
I think it's going to be a, sort of diplomatic CSI, great personal tragedy. Picard's in a situation where he's out of his elements and, he doesn't have the authority and the power of a starship and, the Federation necessarily behind him. I think it's going to be, definitely him out of comfort zone, so to speak.
All right. Does Q show up?
No.
No?
No.
Not at all?
No. I think John Delancey's pretty happy with that character.
Yeah.
I don't think... what's really funny is finding out after the fact that John Delancey and Patrick Stewart never really... They didn't get along badly, but they never ever warmed up to each other. They maintained sort of that adversarial attitude throughout the entire thing.
Off camera?
Off camera,
okay.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
Yeah. Saw that on a con video or something where he was talking about that. Because somebody asked, are you and Patrick Stewart friends in real life? And he's like, you don't have to be friends with everybody you work with. You know. I'm just happy we're getting new Star Trek again.
There, part of me is, but part of me is worried because we saw what they did with the first season of Discovery.
Right.
So now we have kind of a base. No matter having details or not having details, you go down the road of, okay, this is what they did with a story that was original.
Right.
What are they going to do with a beloved character?
Look, the original series wasn't perfect. Next Generation wasn't perfect. DS9, pretty damn close from like seasons 3 through 7.
Yeah.
But Voyager kind of fell flat for me. Enterprise, I could take or leave. It's not like Star Trek has been perfect all the way along. I will forgive them certainly some miscues. It's sort of like, for me, it's sort of like Star Wars. I've always said, the more you do, the more chance you have of screwing it up. But even in the midst of all the crap, there's been some pretty decent stuff. So
my issue with it is, and the one thing that you can say that, whether it was TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, the movies or whatever, they all stuck to history.
Right.
Or at least as close to it as possible. Right. I didn't like how Discovery just was like, whatever.
Right. Check it out.
Yeah. That was my issue, my biggest issue with Discovery. It's like, if you say you're going to be in the prime timeline, then be in the prime timeline.
Right.
And you have to go with that.
Right.
Like, if you want to change little things, fine. Like the design of the ship, we've talked about that part. It's like, I understand special effects are better now.
Right. And that we're going to update some things that, we didn't see before and whatnot. I did think it was funny when they were walking through the corridors of Discovery on the first episode of the second season that they're like, oh, we can see where all the money went.
Yeah.
But we've got cool new uniforms.
They're colorful.
They are.
But I do think that the more of the more Discovery that comes out this season, we're going to have a better idea of what they're going to do with the Picard series.
Right.
Because I think you're going to see what changes they made to Discovery to either go further away from the fans and get new fans in, or bring those other fans back in. You're going to see whether or not they do this. And you're going to have a little bit better idea, because now you're starting to get into the realm of you're using Spock, beloved character.
Right.
Pike has history to him. I don't want to say beloved character, but a fairly,
It does kind of stink watching the guy getting to like the guy knowing he's going to end up in that blinky chair later on.
Will he?
Yeah, I think he will.
I mean, we've seen Discovery do stuff completely different, so.
Well, I mean, I don't think he'll do it. You end up there during Discovery, but yeah, I mean.
No, I know, but I mean.
So, yeah. Maybe that's the last episode of this season. Maybe, I don't know where in the timeline that disaster where he saved all those guys happened, but maybe that's it.
Maybe
that's why. Well, but it's 10 years. It's too early. Never mind. It's too early.
Okay, it's too early.
Too early.
Too early, everybody. Just move on with your life.
Forget I said anything, which I'm sure you've already done.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think the more you see of Discovery, the more you're gonna have an understanding of what they're willing to do with characters.
Right.
So.
Flush them down the toilet.
Pretty much.
Build up, take all the character traits that we've done for how many years and just crap all over it.
Yeah, pretty much, but it is what it is.
It is.
So. All right.
Nobody's taking our notes.
You feel better about
returning my calls?
No, they're not.
Bastards.
I do want to see the Enterprise D conspiracy show. Going back in time.
Speaking of the D, there's a couple of renders on Facebook. I don't remember whether I put it on the 1-5 Show Facebook page or not, but they combined
1-5 Show.
What did I say?
That's what you said.
Oh, the 151 the show Facebook page.
1-5 Show something or other.
But
we haven't done this in a while.
The Facebooks, the internets. No, there was a render done of the Galaxy class, basically with Sovereign class neck and.
Is that the one I sent you?
No, that's the one I sent you and said I actually don't mind this Galaxy class ship.
Yeah, because I sent you one back that I was like, I like this one a little better.
Right, but I didn't. So
you didn't like that one?
No, I like the one that I showed you. Well, it was also appeared bigger. Little girthier, a little bit more capacity. I like the lines of my D better than I like the lines of your D. You don't always have to. When I show you my D, you don't always have to be, well, look at mine.
I'm sorry I just thump it down on the table like that.
Right. It's rude.
I know. I should
People eat there.
I should have just thumped things down on the table.
No, people eat there. Come on.
All right. With that, this has been 151 The Show. We are presented by Skeleton Wine. I'm sure they love that part.
Right.
You can find out more about them at skeletonwine.com or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. As for us, we hope that you find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all at 151 The Show. And subscribe to our Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and every other channel. If you missed any of that, go to 151theshow.com or thisstationswebsite.com.
Yes.
Which I still haven't said why that's a thing now.
No.
You want it real quick?
Sure.
Okay, make a long... What?
Let's do let's do this station's website as this week's shameless plug.
All right.
Cue the music!
All right. So, shameless plug. This is the part of the show where we shamelessly plug something.
Today, we're going to shamelessly plug ourselves.
Our new website. So...
Each other.
thisstationswebsite.com. It's kind of an inside radio joke, okay? Right. I work in radio, in case any of you didn't know.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? And at one point, I kind of noticed that every commercial out there, right? Whenever they don't want to do multiple commercials for each station, so most radio groups have like 5 to 10 stations in their building. So just a little inside behind the curtain, inside talk.
The guy doing your rock show works next to the guy doing your
country show. Yeah, and that legitimately happens at my building. Some buildings have more than that, and so on and so forth. But anyways, as a way to save time with production, they always at the end of a commercial they'll say, and go to this station's website for more information. So they don't have to put in, KBL 430 or, 970 such and such.
Right.
Just the station's website. And at one point we're in a meeting and I go, we should buy that website.
Right.
Just so it could be go to this station's website.com. And everyone's like, oh, that's a great idea. That's really funny. And, kind of.
Ha 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 ha, but it'll never happen.
Nobody ever did anything with it. So I looked.
Guess what we did?
So I look it up, and what it was, like $12.
Yeah, it was ridiculously cheap.
I go, buy it.
Right. So we did.
And now,
go to thisstationswebsite.com.
Yes, that's shamelessly plugging thisstationswebsite.com. But yeah, that's the story behind it. I don't know. I don't know if anyone will ever go to our website. I don't know if anybody will ever find us using that.
Right.
But I just thought it was funny.
Right. And I mean, I would love to see. Yes, I would love to see the traffic. Just get like a blip from Romania. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, you think about all the radio stations across, the United States and North America, and it's like everybody does that. Everybody uses this station's website. And I thought I was going to get in trouble for it for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Because I went in one day and I'm like, I showed somebody at work because I had told them about the idea. I go to this station's website.com. And so she went to it. She's like, oh my God, you did it? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, our GM was just talking about this the other day.
Nice.
I'm like, oh.
Well, technically, I'm the registrant on it. So if anybody has an issue, it's my fault, and it's available for a moderate fee.
I was gonna say, I mean, every time there's a new team or whatever, I start looking to see if URLs are taken up because I want to buy it.
Right. Pull a what was it? The Avengers in-game that the guy bought and then directed to Deadpool. Yeah. Yeah,
Was it a guy or was it the Deadpool people?
No, it was a guy because Ryan Reynolds ended up sending him like some fancy aviation gen stuff.
Yeah. You're right. So, good times.
Yep. Good times.
Thisstationswebsite.com.
Hilarious.
I think it's funny. It's a little on the surface, it's a little inside radio funny.
Right.
But to me, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. I can't believe it was available and that cheap, quite frankly. It seems like somebody should have done this before.
You would think.
Yep.
So, all right, friends, that's going to do it for us. Please go to all of our pages, subscribe, and find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr at 151 The Show, and this station's website.com.
Right. So, obviously we're in 2019 now. We're going to put some more shows out on a regular basis this year. I think between real life and the studio getting flooded, and we
didn't talk about that.
We had kind of a rough 2018, but we're gonna be back and better than ever, and
sure we are.
Still got a wine show to do, and a sandwich show, and
apparently a 90s country and dad pun joke show.
Right. I think we could spin an episode just cooking with Tony, quite frankly. So.
No, screw him.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye.